Welcome to another episode of Take Up Space. Today we're doing something very different. We actually have 4 people in the room, and they're all therapists. I thought it would be really fun to bring together 2 favorite parts of myself, which is like Bollywood fan. It does make up 80% of my personality, and then the therapy world, and kind of understand the intersections, but also just have a lot of fun. This is a super selfish episode, so if you don't like Bollywood, stop listening now. But I have 4 amazing therapists to be in the room. I'm going to introduce them. Vikash, you know, so there's Vikash Ravi. He's a licensed clinical social worker. I'm also a therapist, by the way. If you didn't know, if you've been listening this far.
That's the one thing
Also therapist. Yeah. And then we have Nikita. She is a licensed marriage family therapist associate. Just met her. And then Anika, and she is a clinical mental health student. So we're just going to get right into it. Do you guys want to introduce yourselves better than I just did?
No, I think you're great.
Yeah? That's it? Do you have no more to your personas?
I mean, it's going to show up naturally. In a second.
Okay, bet. All right, so we'll just get started. I think I'm going to start with a weird sentimental message. Okay.
Sick.
Okay. So I've been a fan of Bollywood for I'm 33, so 32 years. And
yeah, that first year was just the learning.
First year was just, I kid you not, I was watching the movies, doing the dances, I was in it, you know? And I think a lot of who I am really does make up of that space. But I will say the first half of life, or the 2/3 of it, I really use that as the template of love and family, just in all the classic ways, like hero, grand gestures, savior, you know, is going to come just sweep me off my feet, like any rom-com. But I think Bollywood, in my opinion, all the emotions are elevated to another level, right?
Yeah.
And I really felt like that was it. Like when I find that, that's love, you know, and then the way they kind of double down on the way families show up for each other and the importance it is to be a good daughter or be a good son, how that looks, what gender roles look like. I picked up all that, right? And after becoming a therapist and also just deconstructing myself as a human being, I was like, wait, all of that is whack.
Right.
I can't subscribe like this anymore. And maybe some of that is unhealthy. I don't know. So everything just kind of messed up in my head. But now I think I appreciate it in a very different way. I appreciate the subtlety of the importance of emotions and the importance of how expressive they are with them. The music, the language, the dance, there's so much going on there that I think aligns with what we do and what our hopes are with therapy too, right? To feel more. The unspoken feeling of love. So all this stuff. And I'm just saying all this to say my journey with the relationship of Bollywood has changed so much. And now I still listen to all the love songs, but I sing them to myself. Truly, I do. I can't even imagine singing it to another person because they're so deep. They are deep. And I'm I only feel this way about myself now, which is cool. But I can still appreciate it. So how's y'all's journey been with Bollywood? Or Tollywood? Represent the entire...
Telugu, Hollywood. Yeah,
Yeah.
There's a bunch. Similar,
Yeah.
actually. But the thought that came to my mind as you were saying that was, interestingly enough, when I think back to the 90s, 2000s, the movies that I grew up with, because Tamil was a big part of it, but I've also watched a lot of the classic Bollywood movies too.
Have you, Vikash?
A good amount of them. A good amount of them. I'm sure I've missed 20, but there's... But it's interesting that when I think about those movies, and there's a few that I've rewatched recently, what I remember picking up from those movies was a lot more generous and less toxic than when I rewatch it. I'm like, oh, this isn't aged well. But that's not the pieces of it that I remembered.
Yeah.
I remembered the pieces that were, I don't know, the messages underneath some of the toxicity that was speaking to that ended up being kind of good were the things that I remember picking up on. And I don't know if it was just kid brain or whatever, but it just, all the toxic stuff, for a good amount of it, was not stuff that I internalized, and I didn't remember seeing all of that when I went back to it. So
Yeah.
I think I have a nostalgia filter,
Sure.
and I've gone back to it,
Yeah.
and I still I don't know how to articulate this other than I feel like I can make space for both the nostalgia version of what I remembered and
Yes.
keep those messages up while still
Yes.
criticizing the toxic pieces of the hard part of it is when I watch current news stuff,
Yeah.
I don't have that filter. So like now I'm just like, oh, this movie sucks. But I'm sure there's like kids watching that'll come back and be like, what? You thought that movie was bad? And I was like,
Yeah.
oh, it must be the filter thing. But yeah.
No,
so
that makes a lot of
Yeah.
sense.
I had like
Yeah.
this weird
this curve too. Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you guys?
Yeah, I mean, kind of similar to what you've both been saying. Mine's been a bit of a different journey too, in the sense of when I was younger, I was really into the love stories, and I was like, this is it, like this is how it's going to be, and also kind of playing into, okay, this is how my role is too, especially as an eldest daughter, and in that system of, okay, this is kind of your duty in a sense, this is kind of your role. And I think as some more movies have started to come out in even the mid 2000s, 2010s, even now, there's been so much female empowerment as well in these movies, in these roles. And I think one movie in particular that made that shift for me of, okay, I don't need to be stuck in this role, placed in this role, is Check to India, with Shah Rukh Khan. And the India hockey team, the field hockey team or whatever it is.
I've seen that movie like 5 times.
Yes, no, it's so good. It's so good. And it really showed. I remember watching, as soon as it came out, I ended up watching it like 10 different times in a row because I was like, this is so good. And it really made a difference for me, I think, personally as well, in my, even just with friends, different cultural backgrounds, but even in my family, it really showed me, okay, I have a lot more power than I really thought I had. Yeah.
So true. Okay. So what's your relationship with it now?
Yeah, I think right now I appreciate all those aspects again of the love and these big gestures and all these things. But now I know that it helps me in my work with my clients as well, who are kind of similarly going through that journey like me, of it's okay to deconstruct it and make it your own too.
Yeah.
I really like what you said about the female empowerment.
Yeah.
When I look back, I look at it differently because I grew up in Minnesota and there were not a lot of Indian people. So I think for me, it gave me like a way to relate to culture in any sense.
Yeah.
And then also just like Gal Ho Na Ho, like seeing brown people grow up, or like she lives in New York, I think in the movie, the main character. So I think that was like a really big thing for me, is like, okay, like our movies, or like when Krish came out, like we also have superheroes, or we also have like Doom, like action. And so I think for me, it was just a really good way to like relate to, okay, there's also people like me growing up in America. And then even now I feel like that's how I'm able to relate. Like when, I don't think this is Bollywood, but Wedding Season came out. I think that was such a big movie for me. I was in college when I watched it. So just like being able to see like something way more relatable than like an arranged marriage or something like that.
Love that. Okay, so I think we're all kind of touching the same thread of it. If you guys had to pick a movie or a scene that's left an imprint on you till this day, like you said, Chuck the India, right?
Yeah.
I think the recent one, Rocky or Rani, for me stood out a lot because it talks a lot about what we just said, but it started to break down for the first time, I think, in a funny and direct way that when my mom was watching it too, like she was like sold on some of the messages too. And she walked out being like, that was so important. And I was like, yeah, right. But then like proceeded to do the same things. But anyway, the point is there's a scene in Rocky or Rani. Have you guys all seen it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So my favorite aspect is that, do you remember she is Ranveer Singh, so Rocky's side, his mom, the character playing his mom. She wanted to be a singer, but she gave up that to like be married. And in that entire movie, somewhere around the lines, like Alia, Ronnie, like kind of reminds her of her passion, and they start singing in the kitchen. But then eventually, like she becomes like a singer, which whatever. I mean, she puts her audition tape out there, but seeing her journey of like that classic role we play to just kind of go into what we think we should be doing and give up everything we have to play a role, and then to remember somewhere, oh, I'm still, this is what it means to be alive for myself, and this is what it means to do something I love or passion I have. And I think there was a dialogue in there that Alia said where she was like talking about someone's spine. I don't know if you guys remember this, but she was like, they don't sell spines. Like you have to use the one you have. And she was doubling down on this like empowerment part that you guys were talking about. So that left a big imprint on me. Like it was, because it was recent and it was now. And given the environment we're in, I'm always assuming everyone's on the same page, but then I realize that that's not true everywhere.
Yeah.
Like this
Right,
is still an
right.
important message, you know?
Right.
So I'm curious for you guys, what scenes, movies stand out for these kind of imprinted messages that you think are important?
Have one.
Yeah.
Like in Wedding Season, when she is like wanting, the main character, she's wanting to work and not get married, or like that's not her priority, and her parents keep sending that message of like, you know, we want you to get married, we want you to go to these weddings. And I think a lot of us have grown up with like a really close family friend circle, which sometimes served as like family when we didn't grow up around cousins. And so it seems like everyone in the group is sending the same message. And she comes home and she has good news. But the good news is that she got a promotion, not that she's getting engaged. And
I love that.
yeah, seeing the family be disappointed with that, or like prepare for an engagement, that was like really important, I think, for a lot of women to see. It's like it's okay to celebrate other things as well.
I love that. Women empowerment.
Yeah. No,
What about you guys?
I was actually going to say the one thing that still stands out to me today is probably Kabhi Khushi Kabhi Gum, especially that one scene where I think Kajal's father has just died and they come together with Shah Rukh Khan.
Where they're doing like the ashes that they just recreated in BADS
Yes,
Bollywood?
yes,
Yeah.
yes. And then there's that scene with Amitabh Bachchan, you know, the father.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm going to leave now, and you know, we're going to be cut off.
So painful.
Yeah,
Oh my
right,
gosh.
right. And so I remember when I was younger, you know, you're brought up with that idea, that mindset of, okay, you just don't cut family off. You know, we don't do that in like South Asian or Asian cultures. We just don't do that. And now that I've grown, you know, as a person, as a therapist, deconstructing what we've known and grown up with for so long, it's not as black and white,
Right.
still. And I think that's an imprint that still carried with me to this day of, it's just not that easy like people think it is. It's not like that movie where it all ended up fine and well, like every Bollywood.
That is crazy, right? Like how should
Right.
I felt like in that movie, the amount of time that they were separated and then
Right.
they came back together was unreal. Like I think
Right.
it was like the kid grew up all the way, right?
Right.
It's like 8 years
Yes.
or something.
Yes.
And the layer was extra because Shah Rukh Khan was adopted.
Right.
Oh my god, it's like painful.
Right,
It's
exactly.
like, so is it okay because he's adopted that you're gonna
Right.
cut him off?
Right. Right.
I totally wish that ended differently, like in a more realistic way.
Yes.
too,
Yes.
you know.
Pretty
Yeah.
progressive for the time it was out, though.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's so true.
I
What
have
about you, Vikash? Yeah.
I have two.
Okay.
And I'll
Take up space.
I think my classic one is Lagan.
I love
because,
Lagan.
but
It's
specifically,
a 4-hour movie.
I love. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
Lagan. There's specifically the scene where they're adding their last. Y'all have seen it, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, great movie. Specifically the scene where they're adding their last team member to the team, and like, and the caste system is so prevalent, like because it's
Yeah.
Yes.
genders India, and so there's a monologue where he's considered an untouchable, so he's adding him to the team though, and when he does, the village just starts to get into like a bit of an upheaval, and there's a monologue where Amir Khan starts basically just going against casteism as a concept as he's
Nice.
adding him, and he starts it off by like putting his hand on the person considered untouchable, bringing him into the team, and then like addressing the village to like get past their terrible
Yeah.
viewpoints. So that stands out to me. Love that scene. I do remember watching it and thinking, man, I wish it was that easy. You could just like tell them, and they're like, this dude's got a point. Yeah. Maybe we should stop doing this.
Right.
The second one, and this is, I don't know if the movie is considered about. It's a Hindi movie. I mentioned it. It's Parched, but it
I haven't
is.
seen, yeah.
So there's no Bolly magic in it. It's very much like a very gritty, dark movie, but it's about, and it follows a trio of female characters who were sort of born and brought up in this village, but the village itself follows like extremely traditional rule sets around, like child marriage is still followed. There's a very clear dominant
Yeah.
submissiveness.
Yeah.
And then the trio of female characters each represents like different aspects of trying to find liberation throughout the
Okay.
movie. But, and this is maybe a can of worms to open, but there's a specific scene where one of the characters kind of finds out what you're allowed to ask for during like sex is, because throughout there's a lot of emphasis on each of the characters' relationship to intimacy and sex being one of primarily like assaults and like that being with the primary,
Yeah.
like
Right.
you know, because
Right.
that's the power dynamic.
Yeah.
There's a specific scene where she learns like what you're allowed to ask for as far as like the respect of the space and like
Right.
equity in it and like all of that, and it's really like the shift and the energy shift in that, like it's really, really well done, because the actual acts, I think they made it a point to the acts of sex in the scene itself are very similar to the way the assaults were happening. But then the camera work, the music change,
Yeah.
the sort of shift in like what they're
Yeah.
showing, like her going through when she's in this much healthier sort of
Right.
intimacy
Yeah. I
interaction.
I gotta see this. It
is-
sounds awesome. Yeah.
It's great. It's a very heavy movie.
Yeah.
It's not,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
very real, but
Right.
that was huge, especially because I watched that maybe a year before I started my clinical program and stuff. So I was
Yeah.
like, this is amazing. I didn't even
Yeah.
know our people made stuff like
Right.
this and did it in such a good way. So that was,
Yeah.
that's still one that I go back
Stands
to a
out
lot.
to you.
And,
Yeah.
and with clients now, I'll recommend it. It was,
Really?
it was actually a movie.
Well, in
pick
the work
for-
you do, it makes a lot
in the
of
work,
sense.
yeah. And it was a movie pick for like because I used to work sexual violence in Houston, and they did like a movie club, and they happened to screen that
Oh,
movie.
nice.
and-
Oh wow.
yeah, that is still, that one is very prominent for me, even though that's not like a nostalgia one. It's more of a recent
Right,
one, but
yeah.
like as far as social work, especially, that was
Yeah.
Yeah.
huge.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I got to see it. Have you guys
Great
seen it?
movie.
No, I
March.
haven't.
Yeah.
It reminds
Marched.
me of a movie I've seen. I think it's called Bulbul. I don't know if you guys.
That
have
sounds
seen it.
familiar.
Sounds familiar.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've heard the name. I haven't watched it.
Yeah, so in the end, there's like a scene about assault. It's actually a movie about, I think she portrays like a goddess, or like they think she's a witch, but just because she's not doing things women are not supposed to do, and so she's looked upon as like she's a witch. She's not. Her husband died. She must be the reason, and so it really reminds me of
That.
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it reminds me of this scene. Have you guys seen Gangubai?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I watched.
We gotta
I watched the
switch. You
first
watch
half.
Gangubai,
I
I'll
watched
watch
the first
Parched.
half. I haven't finished it yet.
Yeah.
I'm watching it in sections.
You've seen the first half?
the first half of it.
Okay, well, I don't know if you got up to the point where
That's fine.
there's this song called Mary John in the car.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
And
yes.
so Gangubai was like based on a true, it was like a true story based
Yeah.
on someone who
Yeah.
actually lived that. And she was sold into prostitution, right? And
Yeah.
there was a scene in the car where she found someone she connected to, and they were like, I guess, trying to hook up or like whatever. They were trying to have
Yeah.
a date. Do you guys remember this?
Yeah.
And
Yes, yes.
all she wanted from him in that moment was like just like a pat on the head.
Yeah.
And it was like
Right.
the sweetest, saddest scene.
Yeah.
But it spoke so much like volumes on like the love and nourishment she didn't receive
Yeah.
Yeah.
from life, from her entire circumstances.
Right.
And that's all she wanted in that moment. And I thought they played it so well. Like it hit.
Yeah.
Alia Bhatt has done a lot of like feminism empowered movies. and
Yes.
films, I
Her
think.
choices
I
are
remember
Yes.
her.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yes.
She comes to mind as someone that embodies that a lot in a lot of movies.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, she did Dear Zindagi, right? Where
Yes.
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 I mean,
Yes.
that was
Yeah,
the
those
first time I think we saw therapy in the limelight.
Right.
Yes.
I don't know.
Right.
I don't know. I can't think of another movie where that exists.
I think for me that's the
Therapy
one that
specific.
stands out the most.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Like Shah Rukh
Yeah.
Khan played the therapist,
Yes.
and they really normalized it. And I love how like messy they made her life. Like, I mean, messy as in real.
Yeah.
That they
Right.
portrayed her life to be. And I think in that movie too, she has like a big monologue around like talking about how it's perceived as seeing like the Makkah doctor and like being
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
But then like explaining what her childhood was like and why she needed
Right.
to do that. So I think she's doing great. I love it. Her and Amir Khan. I think they like
Yeah.
Yes.
for sure.
Yes.
Good choices.
good
Generally.
choices.
Yeah.
They put out really amazing work.
Right.
So I'm curious, do you guys think that I've always like battled with this. Do you think it's their responsibility in any kind of way to shift how they're portraying gender roles, love, family in a way that's more healthy? Or do you think that's not of their concern because it's really just entertainment? I always grapple with that. Like we've all clearly found a way to enjoy it regardless, even
Yeah.
if there's like
Right.
elements of not so perfect. And I guess this is generally for any kind of entertainment, but I wonder, like, what is your opinion on the level of responsibility, if any, to portray a healthier, I guess, situation in these things? Because people learn by entertainment sometimes. That's a space that they like consume, and they then think that that is what life could look like. But then again, for people on the back end, it's like I'm
Yeah.
creating and I'm creative, and this is my
Right.
art, and it can be whatever it is, you know?
Yeah.
So I think that like not Bollywood, but they're doing it in the shows. Like if you've seen Mismatched or Masaba.
Love Mismatched.
I love
and I love
Mismatched.
Rohit, and if he's ever going to listen to this, he needs to know I love him.
Yeah. So Mismatched, I think they have a much more realistic view on love or what her relationship with her parents are.
Right.
And also there's a therapist in that show, which I love.
There is. You're right.
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't
and I
think
think
about that.
he's like
Yeah.
a much better representation or a pretty good representation compared to in Masaba, where her life is also really messy, but the therapist portrayed in that was kind of eh. But like I think they're doing a good job with shows, but maybe not necessarily movies. So what the younger people are coming up with.
Yeah.
It has like a good representation, you think. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little removed from Bollywood specifically. I think any artistic medium that delves into narrative storytelling and expects an audience to pay attention to it does have a little bit of responsibility
so?
towards that narrative.
Okay, yeah.
And I didn't know, personally, I didn't know that Bollywood, Magic, or you know, Kollywood, speaking from Tamil cinema too, was, for the longest time, I thought that the formula for Bollywood made it impossible to speak to that until I saw Rocky Irani. And then I was like, oh, no, this is...
You can do
this
it.
Is, and have y'all seen Badai though? Do you know what that is?
Yeah, I have seen that.
Which,
Can you repeat it?
I don't know if I'm pronouncing it
Yeah,
right.
can you say it slow?
Yeah.
Badai though?
Badaiho.
Badai.
Okay. I was like,
translate.
wait.
I...
Yes.
It's not my language. Anyways... Yeah, you've
Yeah,
seen.
yeah,
okay,
yeah.
like that was another example of like,
Sure.
oh, Bolly Magic can do this,
Yeah.
but still maintain Bollywood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was the first time I was like, oh, this is possible. So
Yeah.
that means that the maybe more toxic parts have traditionally been, maybe they didn't know it at the time, but those were choices.
Yeah.
And like these are both Karan Johar. I'm pretty sure they're both of Karan Johar. I know Rocky Irani for sure.
Yeah,
is.
you're right. They're
I
like
think-
Dharma production,
Yeah.
which is his thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
right.
I'm like, so if he's doing it,
Yeah.
I mean,
Right.
then no one's got excuse.
Everybody could do it,
I'm
yeah.
like, so
Right.
this is a thing.
Yeah, I hear you.
But speaking to the responsibility, I
Right.
think a little bit now,
Yeah.
especially. I
Yeah.
think especially knowing that it's possible to keep the flavor and substance of Bollywood without
Right.
losing the flavor of like, because the magic is important, I think, to the
Right.
flavor of everything.
Right.
Yeah.
But still make sure that
Yeah.
you're not putting out
You don't think in
Yeah.
any way it blocks like a creative from going in whatever direction they want.
I think if you do it well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I think part of what makes, and this is my experience, of course. I think part of what attracts me to the sort of glorification that exists in Bollywood magic and makes it that's like that term Bolly magic. I think what is really nice about that is it makes a super fantastical thing out of things that when in real life happen don't feel as fantastical, but that the fantasticalness of it speaks to how it feels a lot more than just if it were played out in like regular life.
So yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
So I'm like, if you portray toxic things, then I would like that to be portrayed in a very Bolly magic sort of almost horrific way, if that makes sense. Right? But
So
not
it's
like in
clear.
a traumatized. Yeah, so it's
Yeah.
clear. And then like the really, in speaking to songs especially, like the deep poetry and love. And like
Yeah.
that might not be part of our day to day, but like I can't not say that I've thought about or at least listened to those songs when like my wife and I have listened to those songs and like we really and that's something that bonds
Yeah.
us, even if it's
Yeah.
not. Neither of us might not like be in the space where we're serenading each other in the exact way
right.
that is
Like,
on the movie.
I will die without you, basically.
Right.
It was a
Right.
lot of the meaning.
Yeah. Right.
But like we will connect over that because it's like, you know
Sure.
what, this is speaking to like how big my feelings for you are
Yeah.
in a
Yeah.
way that only Bolly magic feels like
Right.
it can capture.
Right.
That's so true.
So-
yeah. I like that. I think that's so important because language here makes a difference. In that I don't think English, for me, it doesn't have enough words
Yeah.
that
Right,
Hindi
right.
or Urdu do, or maybe
Tamil-
the other.
Tamil is very
Yeah,
similar.
or
Tamil-
you know,
Tamil
Telugu.
lyrics,
Yeah,
though,
Telugu.
Telugu
yes,
lyrics, okay,
yes,
The
yes.
lyricism magic is
Yes.
similar.
Yeah.
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 There's like deep poetry.
Right, and like
Yeah.
as therapists, I bring out the feelings wheel all the freaking time, and I'm like,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
tell
Right.
me what you're feeling,
Right.
And tell me more than just happy, sad,
Right,
and-
right.
Like here's
Right.
some more words. I think that the song and the dance, even like it does something for me that allows me to feel deeper and
Yeah.
express and emote deeper, right?
Yeah.
And the dance too is like therapeutic in that you embody what you're
Yeah.
feeling as a way, like we know, to release what you're feeling or
Right.
to create out of pain or something around those lines.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm curious, like, how has that impacted you, the dance and music part of the Bolly magic? I love Bolly
Yeah.
magic, by the way. I'm
Yeah.
going to title this. Bolly
Yeah.
I think I definitely stole that from somewhere. I can't remember where I
That's
stole
okay.
it from, which I guess is stealing as a concept. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Hashtag stolen. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you guys think?
So I grew up dancing, and then
Yeah.
I went to UTD. I was on a dance team for a while. So I think for me,
Oh, did you
it's
do
just
Lux?
like
Sorry.
We're all
no, I was on
dancers
the
here.
Ross team.
Okay.
Ross
Never
team.
mind.
But like it does follow you, right? Even when you
Yeah.
go to Gerba, like they'll sometimes play Bollywood music, or like I worked at a dance studio for a while. So I think a lot of kids like that's like a really happy thing for them, and they're able to express themselves that way. And I think like more recently we've also seen like slower dancing in Bollywood movies.
Yeah.
And then like other ways I also like to paint. So like a lot of my paintings will revolve around like, okay, I just saw this. So like speaking to the creativity of like it makes me also feel creative. So I can see it as like therapeutically, you know, you're doing something to let out those big emotions when you can't always name them with words.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. The music does a good job of
Music.
that.
Yeah.
And the dance. It's like
And the dance.
The dance. Yeah.
those are like the two kind of cool, unique aspects of I think the Bollywood industry, where there's no movie that misses that beat. I mean, unless
Right.
there are
Right.
some that do, but but with intention and stuff. So.
Yeah.
Like even if
Yeah.
the songs themselves don't vibe with me or if I dislike them, like the production around it is always
Yeah.
Yes.
phenomenal.
They do spend a lot of money on that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Some recent
And it-
ones,
yeah.
I'm just like, whoa,
Right, right.
You really went to town for that.
So this is where
Right.
the budget went.
Right.
Man.
Yeah. No, but I think for me too, I think it's just more so the music.
Yeah.
It does something differently than like, you know, English music, right? Like, yeah. Whereas, you know, English music, it might be very like surface level in a sense of like, oh yeah, I did this and this, you know, today. But then
Yeah.
in like, you know, Hindi music or even Telugu, you know,
Yeah, yeah.
South Indian
South
music.
Indian music.
Yeah. It's just ignites something at least within me of like, okay, now my creative brain is kind of coming out
Yeah.
in my creative side. It's something exciting
Yeah,
to
yeah.
me. And again, it might just be the flavors in a sense, or just like the sounds, something. And even when I watch the movies too and see it in real time of like, wow, this is just something within me is exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As much as it's maybe criticized for the toxicity and like the elevated emotions and all the
Yeah.
things, I think there's something about what it does do a good job, in my opinion, is like the music and the dance. It almost reminds you that like you don't have to, you can also feel without the words and the acting
Yeah.
that's going
Right,
on, right? Like there's so
right.
much more to being energy being felt,
Right.
Yeah.
or the unspoken, like that. I
Right.
think stays with me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a list. I like of
List.
No, well, I think there's a lot of movies that I've watched that
Yeah.
I really just didn't like or didn't vibe with me, but
Yeah.
the soundtracks for them were
Yeah.
Stayed with you.
or even movies I just straight up don't remember anything about, but then
Yeah,
I'll remember
right.
every aspect of like I think what Dal is a legendary soundtrack.
Yeah.
so
Yes,
that
yes.
I cannot remember anything about that movie.
Yeah, yeah.
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 Okay, so before I ask about the recent movies, I'm going to ask you guys a question that I think would be cool to hear from therapists about. What's a movie that, from a therapist lens and a Bollywood fan, what's a movie where you were like, man, I wish they ended it differently? And how would you have wanted them to end it? And why?
And it's not like a recent movie.
Anyone.
Yeah.
Anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anything.
I think for me, what comes up is probably Kuch Kuch Hota Hai.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Man, you're really going for that one?
Yeah.
Wait, how did that end again?
Where Rani Mukherjee's character
She dies,
She
right?
dies,
Yeah.
yes. But
Kajol and
then
Shah could
Kajol-
eventually get back together.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Ooh, yeah. What do you think should happen? Salman Khan?
Yeah, no. Yeah. You're like, yeah, I'll go for it. Yeah, I would go for him.
I mean,
yeah.
I think I wouldn't mind that either. He was so
Yeah.
good. Anyway.
Yeah, no, I mean, maybe, but yeah. Now I'm like, maybe.
What were you
Yeah.
thinking? Yeah.
No, I mean, I think even just exploring more in depth into those characters too, and just the grief and that shared experience they're all living through together.
Yeah.
I think all three of those characters, you know, like Rani Mukherjee's, you know, Kajol, like Shah Rukh Khan's, like there was so much deepness to them
Yeah.
that we never really got to explore
Right.
with all three of them. It was kind of like, oh, here's the college years, like really quick.
Sure.
Yeah. And then it kind of goes back and forth into like the present and then
Yeah.
that way. But, and yes, we did explore like Kajol and Shah Rukh Khan's, you know, they're at his daughter's summer camp and, you know, you see a little bit more deepness in there.
Sure.
But I feel like we really didn't get to experience all of that deepness as a trio together and what that looks like and having a shared experience. And then it kind of goes into like, you know, karmic connections and, you know, all these different things. And I think maybe exploring what movies today in Bollywood are kind of exploring more of, which is what does that look like?
Sure.
With that depth
Yeah.
and deepness rather than like, let's wrap it up with a nice little bow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They do that a lot sometimes.
Right.
Most of the time.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I hear you. So you're
about-
saying like maybe exploring that could have ended it differently.
Yes. Yes.
To bounce off of that, like the trio reminded me of Kal Ho Na Ho,
Oh,
and
yes.
like Shah Rukh Khan's character pushes,
Saif Ali Khan, yeah.
yeah, and like they do get together, but I wonder, like sometimes I wonder, like
This was my answer, actually.
What do you wonder that like he
So I just wonder, like, what if she just didn't like him like that? Like, you know, like what if they were just
Yeah.
friends?
Yeah.
And I think it's
Yeah.
okay
I'm
to
on board
just
with
have
this.
guy friends that you can connect
Absolutely.
with deeply, and it's
Yeah.
so true.
not really shown. And so,
Yeah.
It's like platonic isn't an option in that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like, that's
right.
kind of
Yeah.
what that is.
Right.
and everyone's like, I feel like a lot of time, like everyone was pushing her to it, so maybe she thought like this is the right answer. But I
Yeah.
wonder, like, maybe if people weren't pushing her and she did feel or have those deep feelings for Aman, I think is his
Yeah,
character's
you're right.
name.
Yeah.
Wow, you
Right.
remembered that.
Pronounce the name's correct.
And so, like, just exploring that it's when you lose someone you love, like, there's not always the perfect answer if someone else is waiting. or, like,
Right,
that you have those
right.
feelings for
Yeah,
someone else.
yeah. It was
Right.
like those
Or
are
that
the
that's,
only
like,
two.
required. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was like
Yeah.
those are the only two you have, so you're picking this one as if there was nothing else going to happen. Yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
and it took away from their friendship, which I loved. I love their
Yeah.
It's a very
friendship.
cute
Yeah.
friendship. And then also SAIYAARA, like,
Oh,
What
let's
if
talk
he
about
didn't,
SAIYAARA.
like,
I was getting there.
Yeah,
Let's just
right,
go.
right,
Let's just go. What do
right,
you guys think? Yeah, wait. How do you feel like it should have ended?
I like the ending. So I went on a date, and that was like my third date with someone, and so it
You
did
watched
bring
this
out.
movie?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
That's
Like,
intense.
wow,
That's really funny. That's really
Yeah. Yeah.
Props to you. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
I
I
was
didn't know it was
alone
gonna be that
crying
deep.
like a yeah. No,
Yeah.
Yeah. But maybe if it wasn't in that setting and the soundtrack didn't mean that much to me, then
Amazing soundtrack.
Yeah.
So
Soundtrack
good.
is so good.
then I would wonder, like, what if he doesn't find her, and what does it look like to go through the grief of? Because
Yeah.
like
Oof.
I was like, what are the chances he really finds
I
her
know.
after all
Right,
of this,
right.
right?
On a
Right.
reel in the background of like, have you finished it?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I watched
I'm
it.
just saying like
Yeah, I've seen this.
in the reel on the background in like some place. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no chance.
It's also it's very classically Bollywood though. right?
Exactly.
Yeah,
The ending is
yeah.
nice. It felt healing to my soul that he found her.
Yeah.
But I think to your point, like if they explored what it would look like to never
Yeah.
find her,
Right.
Because apparently that's really common to like go missing when you have
Yeah.
Alzheimer's.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot to say about how Alzheimer's is portrayed.
Oh my
Right.
god, yes.
Yeah,
I thought
yeah.
the same.
Right, right.
First of all, I was like, do I have Alzheimer's? Because she's like asking questions around the date and this address.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm just like, wait, like,
This is
is
just
this
my
it?
life.
'Cause, like,
That's all of us.
it's like, we don't have any more testing to do on this?
Right. Right. Right.
I really like what they tried to do with it as far as like her confusion and the previous characters.
Right.
But like
Right.
Yeah.
it didn't have to be. You didn't have to put Alzheimer's for like you just
Right.
put some mental
Something.
Something,
like
yeah.
She goes
amnesia
from-
maybe
Right.
dissociative amnesia. I don't know.
Yeah. No, agreed. Yeah. Because she goes from that to like this complete switch where she's like
Right.
regressed into another part of her life.
Right. Right.
Completely.
Which that part is pieces of it I think are Alzheimer's,
Pieces,
but like
yeah.
Yeah.
that specific like this person is a trigger point for me to embody this previous
Yeah.
story. Like
Yeah.
I'm still in love with them, and I'm like this is you did not have to use Alzheimer's for this.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay,
It's a cool idea.
But in defense of this movie, this brought like I follow the news and the industry.
Yeah, yeah.
heavily.
Right.
Yes,
Out of 10
yes,
fan. Anyway, so the entire country of India seemed to go ballistic
Yeah.
on this movie.
Right, right.
Reels, like the amount of money that was made on the movie was the most ever.
Right.
These two
That's
characters
nuts.
are completely new to the
Right.
space. One is like in the industry family.
Nepalist.
Yeah. Nepalist, whatever.
Yeah.
But the point is that it did so well, even though like I don't know if the storyline is that fresh. I think the music was phenomenal and the people singing it was amazing.
So good,
Yes.
But what do you guys think it was, or what was it for you that was like? Because I think we all like it.
Yeah.
I
Some
liked
of it.
I liked it a lot.
Yeah, what was it for you guys that was like, man, maybe this is why it's hitting. Like this is why it's made such a sensational like noise.
I mean, I think maybe this is just me again, but at least in my group of friends too, I think it hit us so deeply because it was like, wow, that's really powerful about grief and love, you know, in its biggest form. And I think at least that really hits deeply because growing up, at least, you know, in my family of origin, grief was very much like, okay, like you move on, hush,
Put it
hush.
to the side. Yeah.
Yes, right. You kind of like let it be. And I think that movie at least was like really refreshing because I think there's so many other movies I've seen recently and even just growing up too, where it was like, you really don't portray grief that deeply. And I think it was portrayed very well, at least in today's modern world of things. So,
Like, do you mean the grief of the year where she was gone?
Yes.
Yeah. He was like jumping into the crowds. And
yes.
carrying her diary everywhere.
Yes. Yeah.
It was lovely.
It was. Yeah. And again, maybe not realistic, right? But like,
Sure.
But that's like the Bali magic
but
thing, right? Where it's
but
like
that's
you
also
can
part of
feel
the magic. Yeah.
But I also like I would argue that that is more realistic than immediately like getting over it or finding her. Like he was
Yeah.
messy
Oh, yeah.
and it
Right.
was beautiful.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So for me, I think this is maybe more of a technical answer, so a little bit less fun as an answer,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it felt like a very classic tearjerker Bollywood movie and like what that is, but the best executed version of that I've ever seen. It's so
Yeah.
Production
polished.
quality.
Production's crazy,
Direction.
like direction, production. The writing was very classical tearjerker stuff, and like I think the movies that have done that before are really good, but there's something about the way this one was executed that just looks and sounds way better than any classical. Like I think there's been that jump in Bollywood action movies where the
Yeah.
production quality has increased quite a bit. I don't know that I remember seeing that in like
Recent.
with tearjerker stuff
Yeah.
or like this genre where that production is like skyrocketing.
Yeah.
This one was like, this
It was
is
insane.
just so
Yeah.
well done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
But
think
still
his-
maintaining the classic flavor, which was nice.
Yeah. I think his name is Mohit Suri.
Most
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
director. Yeah.
Ashiki 2.
I don't think I've seen anything
Oh,
of
really?
his other than
Other than this?
I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
I was looking it up. I was like, I don't recognize any of this.
A villain?
Nope.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, for me, I think because of this space, or maybe the person I was watching it with was like, I think that the backstories were pretty good. Like she's gone through something. Also to normalize
Oh,
that.
because you're watching on your date. Yeah.
Very different type of context.
yeah.
I'm at home with my headphones on. Just
Man, I wonder how that, never mind.
very different environment. Yeah.
How did that go?
But like, I think that backstory was really good, right? Like also to normalize like the breakup could cause so much depression at the beginning. How the family was dealing with it, and then him with his dad, I think, who was dealing with alcoholism, and how that also brought them closer. But like, I think it brought out like the possibility of someone could love you like that despite what you've been through or what you're going through. I think that was like a huge message of hope, which a lot of times like in dating now, right? Like it's like you have dating apps, or maybe you're like going on dates, or maybe your parents are saying something. And so it's like, it just feels like that natural connection, which I think a lot of us lack seeing now.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
I think that, for me, it was like the combination of the music, the acting, the production. But I think there was something, it's like at some point in time, I would have watched this and be like, that's so toxic. Like he's saving her from this disease and he should just focus on his career. Like there was a part of me that was like, why don't you just go do your singing thing? Like you really wanted this. I want this for you too. Let's go do that. And like her parents can take care of her. You know, I had this like complex during that. And then for her, I was like, let him go, girl. Like just let him go. I don't know. I was having all these emotions, but then when I like sat back, it hit me that maybe there was something beautiful about the fact that they still chose each other. And so it made all the emotions like so much more intense because I found it triggering in that way. Like if you're watching it, like, do you ever really choose someone that deeply?
Right.
Would you, you know?
Yeah.
And how do you love yourself through that? Like he didn't give up on his own thing. He's
Right.
still like sidelined. Like that was still happening and he was being in love, but I felt like it was a reflection back at how much can you love? Like, can you love that much?
Right.
You know?
Man, interestingly, my impression of like the toxicity part was almost, it feels like opposite to
Really?
yours.
Yeah.
Because like the first introduction we get to his character is he's just beating the shit out of somebody. like for the review. Like, you know, it's
I was like,
it's
who attracts that?
There is a much of very clear, like classic toxic male fantasy thing that's just sort of traditional.
For sure,
and,
Yeah.
And
His
very
entrance,
much,
yeah,
his
that whole thing, yeah.
like his relationship with anger throughout,
Yeah.
Yeah.
his destruction, like just
The
that
way he was
piece.
with this, we go on and on.
Yeah. So that part, so one of the things that like stood out to me is something. So this is getting into the stuff that I think was like iffy for me. Just within
Yeah.
I think so
Yeah.
personally. I think the plot of the movie was almost one of the weaker parts for me.
The plot,
Like,
okay,
like the overall story,
storyline.
the
Okay.
execute, the soundtrack, all that.
Yeah,
was like,
yeah.
This is crazy. But the part that I was like, when we're talking about like sort of the responsibility that Bollywood might have to certain things,
Yes.
the idea that someone can just be rehabilitated into a good person through loving another person, that is like
So true.
and then also the sort of trope of like you have the sober, quiet.
Yeah.
I've never done weed before.
Right.
You know, like
Anit?
yeah, because that's her character,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's like, and then they find that classic piece of it where I was like,
Sure.
yeah, if she was acting anything like him, this would not have
There's
gone
not a
in
good
this
Right.
direction.
Yeah.
Right.
So you mean like the fact that he was healed from his anger and all of his problems?
Just immediately
through love.
which I was
Yeah.
like, that part, all right, I'll suspend disbelief for it, but the fact that that's a thing and that's not something that gets challenged a lot, I was like, this is
Yeah.
the one toxic thread that I can't really get behind. I do
yeah.
like where he ended up. I cannot be invested in believing it, but like, I like that it happened that way.
That's such a good point. And I think I remember I wrote a review. And I remember saying something like, you have to suspend some of your like beliefs
Stuff,
just
yeah.
for-
There isn't-
to
Right.
enjoy it fully. And I think
Right.
that was also triggering. Like, can I let go a little bit
Right.
of what I feel like this should be and how this should go
Yeah.
to enjoy it?
Right.
You know? Yeah. I
Yeah.
feel like you have to do that a lot with these movies.
Yeah.
Also, I think like, I mean, growing up, I felt like I was a sensitive child, or like a lot of times I was like, I feel this way, nobody else feels this way, and now like a lot of kids, you know, will say something similar. But as also, I think Bollywood has provided a way of like being okay with having big feelings, and this movie I think does that really well. Of like, it made me think back to like when I had a crush in high school or something, right? Like it's like, you do, like when you have those feelings for the first time, it is that big of a deal.
Yeah.
It
right?
feels that massive.
It feels like this is a big deal, right?
That's true. And it maybe it's a bit Vikash, like to what you were saying. Like, I really think that when you have those big feelings, you can temporarily change completely, because that is fair to say, right? Like, you get very caught up in the infatuation of love, and you just you want to be different, and you just completely turn into something else,
Right.
You know.
I think that's what makes the 1 year sort of disappearance at the end so relevant, because then it's like, oh no, you know that the change is something that
It's
like
like
stuck with
yeah,
him because
right.
he's still
Yeah.
in it. A year later, it's like, oh, he does love her that deeply, and this is maybe this actually spoke
And
to
he
that.
didn't lose his anger management problems. I mean, like,
He didn't.
even
No,
his dad.
he's not a perfect.
Right.
Yeah. I think he just needed some support for his dad. I don't know.
Right.
Like,
Right.
yeah.
My reconciliation of that is like, okay, this is not meant to be perfect. If we expected all of the men in
Right.
Bollywood movies to go to therapy, half of these movies wouldn't exist. Like,
Exactly. No, that's so
Right.
true.
they're
Right.
just like no, these are flawed characters, and that's fine. Like, there's,
Right.
there's
Yeah,
the
and that's
people
life,
listening to it.
right? Like, we don't all go to therapy. Like, it is a flawed. We're all flawed, and we're all messy. And if we get into anyone's story, it's not going to look so
Right.
clear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. Okay, so you guys ready for a little bit of a rapid fire?
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
Sure.
Okay. You have to go fast.
Oh.
We'll go in order. Okay.
Okay, we'll go on.
We'll start with you, and then
Okay.
we'll just go.
Okay.
Okay. Name one. Understand? Like, I know everyone needs therapy, so I'm just going to preface with that. But name a Bollywood character that you feel is the most in need of therapy.
Okay, probably stealing someone's answer, but if you've seen the movie Animal, I don't remember the main character's
Yeah,
name.
Ranbir Kapoor.
Yeah, his character.
Yeah.
Like, definitely needs to work on his relationship with his dad or something. Like, something needs to be fixed there.
I didn't understand that movie. I'm not gonna lie.
I feel like the one thing that came to mind was Om Shanti Om, Shah Rukh Khan's character. He goes through like this whole thing of like reincarnation and just like all these big
Interesting.
Oh my God,
dreams.
so
and
much trauma.
so
Yeah.
much trauma that I'm like, whoa, man, like You gotta take it back.
Yeah, you went straight for the revenge plot.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
That's a good one.
If I mispronounce this, correct
Yeah.
me. The entire cast of Kabhi Alvida Na Kehna, like every main.
Was it the infidelity or what
that
was it?
No, I think one was the infidelity, the way
Yeah.
that was done, but also like the weird approval of it towards the end of that movie from the
Yes.
people that got broken. I'm like, no,
Yes.
you stay. That's okay. You can still be mad at them.
Right,
Like
right.
they
Yeah.
needed their approval
Yeah,
for the end of
right,
it. I
for
was
them
like,
to do it.
that ain't. I don't know about that. Guys.
Yeah.
You don't.
How realistic that
Yeah,
is.
it's like,
Yeah, that's
y'all need something done.
Y'all all need
Yeah,
some help.
y'all-
Maybe a group session.
Yeah.
Maybe even that dad in the movie, Sam.
I forgot his name.
I
but
forgot his name,
the
too.
whole everyone in that
yeah,
movie. I'm
every-
just
he's
like,
like
you
every
all,
single
you're all
cast.
Right,
bad.
right.
Okay, I would say Devdas is my favorite film, and Shah Rukh Khan in that
yes.
movie. Oh my gosh, like he had so much
Yes.
that he needed to work through before he
Yes.
just died in front of her house. Like
Right.
I can't watch him go through the alcoholism
Right,
and like
right.
the parenting and
Right.
the grief and the strictness. Like I know it was a remake of some older Devdas movie
Yeah.
that I haven't seen, so I can't
Yeah.
speak to that. But man, okay,
Yeah.
okay. Most toxic couple in Bollywood history.
Toxic.
Oh.
Animal again. Or Kabir
Yeah.
Singh.
Oh.
Like both of those movies are terrible.
Kabir Singh,
Yeah.
yeah, where
Yeah.
he's also like an alcoholic, and
Yeah, and at the end
Slapped
she
her,
still
I
goes
think.
for him. Like, girl, you could do better, but okay.
I'm so with you on that. I didn't like the way that ended.
Absolutely.
It was also a remake, but still,
Yeah, I think it came.
isn't it a
from
Telugu movie?
Arjun Reddy.
Yes.
Arjun Reddy.
Arjun,
It is.
oh,
Yeah.
oh my God.
It
yeah.
is.
That's,
Oh.
now you guys know what we're talking about.
Yes, yes.
Like, oh.
Dude,
Yes.
oh God, and people think that's a good movie.
Okay, now they actually, you brought it, yes, I would also say
Yeah,
that.
I'm so in agreement with you.
Yeah,
Oh my
yeah, it's just too chaotic
You
for
can.
me.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's your answer too.
I think mine might be Agnipath, the remake
Oh,
with Hrithik
okay.
Roshan
And Sanjay Dutt and
yeah.
Yeah.
He sucks.
he sucks.
He's so bad. Actually, put him on the therapy list too. Like she's just like her entire life just constantly doing everything she can for him. He's
Yeah.
like revenge, like the
Yeah.
whole time. That doesn't change from that. I'm like,
Yeah.
bro, help. Come on. And then when he
Yeah.
finally does it, she like dies dramatically in front of him, and he's like, all right, guess I'm back to revenge. I'm like, all right.
All right. No, that one was like a high revenge toxic.
Yeah.
Okay, one character you secretly related to in the movies growing up.
The kid from Kabhi Khushi Kabhi Gum, because he's like, dude, I want to make my mom happy, but also like,
Hrithik Roshan? Or like kid
no,
version?
the kid, the actual kid. And so it's a very small part of the movie, but he,
Take a chill pill kid?
yes,
Okay.
yeah,
okay.
him.
I don't remember that person.
I'll put little clips of these things.
Okay.
Okay,
I
yeah.
watched it.
Shah Rukh Khan's kid. Shah Rukh Khan and Kajal's
Yeah,
kid.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So he sings the Indian national anthem at his school thing, and he
Yes.
convinces everyone to do
yeah.
it, which is very sweet but very unrealistic. And like growing up, I was like, that's what I was like, bro. How'd you get everyone to do that?
Yeah.
right. Like,
How do I do that? Yeah.
yeah, like I want to have that part of me. I want everyone to accept it. But you think the whole class is gonna sing with me?
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
It's unrealistic.
Yeah.
It made for a very emotional moment because
Right,
Kajal
right.
finished the lyrics and oh my god.
It was the whole
just
thing.
whole
Yeah. 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 No, I mean, I think for me, probably any of those female characters from Trek to India, like just being like, yes, like
Great
you can go
cast,
do
too,
whatever
man,
you
those
want.
guys.
Like
Yeah.
you have the power to do what you want. And even there's so many great characters in there,
Yeah.
like on that team. Like there's a woman who's like a housewife. There's one who's like trying to do a whole career. And I mean, I think I just relate to all of them in different ways. So I think for
Yeah.
me, that's what I'm like, wow.
Okay. Love that.
I have a bizarre answer, and I'm almost surprised that this was what immediately came to mind because I'm 100% not the target audience
Say
for this
it.
movie.
Yeah.
Queen.
Like
Hear me out for a second.
Sangana?
Yeah. Wait.
London to Mukta?
No, I think it's just called Queen. I don't remember.
No, that's
who-
a song.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
It's in
Oh,
there, it's
sorry.
in there.
Yeah. I watched the whole movies. I'm so sorry. Hear me out for a second.
Yeah.
The entire movie is about unlearning purity culture, essentially. Right?
Oh, yeah.
I grew up heavily in purity culture.
Okay.
And so a lot of the aspects that spoke to of like
Yeah.
what that actually is without,
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
some of the obvious feminist pieces that are specific to like women coming into
Sure.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That part of it, I was like,
this speaks to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I honestly don't know if I've seen any Bollywood movies or anything where male characters are going through a similar sort of transformation of like unlearning purity culture and becoming, because they already sort of start off toxic in like the complete other direction
Right.
instead of
That's
unlearning
true.
this like rigidity.
I love
type
that.
thing.
That's that. Yeah, and my answer also is bizarre. It's not deep at all. So sorry, but Kareena Kapoor.
Oh.
Okay, listen.
Just as a person?
As a person,
Oh, okay.
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 every
like, is there a
movie
movie?
since like the 2000s, whatever,
Yes.
she is like my mascot. You know,
Yes.
like her
Yes.
expressions
Yes.
and like her.
Yeah.
It's something that she's doing it with no shame. I think like she's
Yes.
just fully extending her range.
Yes.
And her face, and like you at first I was like mimicking her growing up, but now I just want to like tap into that. She really didn't have any inhibitions, you know, being who she was in any song.
Yes.
And so every time I secretly loved her, and I wouldn't say it out loud because people would judge me for that, because she was sometimes it was like portrayed as over the top or over something, but I was like, I love her
Right.
secretly, but for
Yeah, you're
real.
allowed that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. We'll do a couple more. Let's see. What is your go-to Bollywood comfort song in this moment?
Any song from Veer Zara.
Oh, those are so
I love that
That's
movie.
also like a very
Powerful.
feeling.
That's also like a
Such a good
4-hour
movie.
epic.
yeah.
Wonderful
The
movie.
plot is insane.
It's really
It's
good.
so
It's an
good.
epic.
Yeah.
It's an epic.
Yeah.
Such a
That's
good movie.
a good one.
Ugh.
Yeah.
That brought back memory, man.
That is
That was
so
so
good.
good.
I
That
could
was so
rewatch
good.
it today. Okay.
Yeah.
Huh.
I think that It's Time to Disco from
Really?
Kalhuna Ho,
Comfort song?
that
Yeah,
one,
it's a good song.
or anything from Om Shanti Om. That soundtrack for me is just so
It is
good.
solid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love those songs.
For me, it's there's a lot, but I think the one that I gravitate to the most is Ishq Na Chawe from Kobe Hum Kahan.
Yo, I love that song. I listen to it
Phenomenal
on
song.
repeat.
Yeah, it's so messy in
It's
a good way.
so messy. Yeah,
I love it.
It's
Great,
kind of
great.
dark. I
I
love
know,
it.
I like that though.
I've been trying to dance that. Okay, wow.
Great.
Yeah, I was thinking
like that too.
comfort. That's I go there
Tere
for darkness.
Baten from the same movie is a more
Yeah,
comfort.
yeah.
I like that one a lot too.
I
Yeah.
like Kabhi Kabhi As It Is and
Yeah.
Oh, Johnny Malay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yes.
It's such
Johnny
a fun,
Malay.
comforting song.
That's my wife's favorite song.
Oh, really?
For a Hindi song.
No, mine too. Okay, movie that made you cry the hardest recently, obviously, or whatever you remember.
Kal Ho Na Ho. Like always.
God.
Like
Yeah,
that's the
that's
only
true.
movie that can make me cry.
It's just a switch.
That's it. That's it.
Okay.
I think most recently I've been rewatching also 2000s as well,
Yeah.
and so I think the one that made me cry the most that I remember is Veer Zara. Actually, I forgot how deep it goes. Like, is he ever gonna find her? Like he's like in that jail, you know? Like he's
Yeah.
It's just it hits so deeply.
She doesn't know.
Yeah, and she doesn't know. Right.
I'm gonna second Veer Zara as
Yeah.
one of them, and then the other one I think I'm gonna go Gully Boy.
Oh,
Boy was
yeah.
so-
Yeah.
Gully
Yeah.
Boy hit.
Yeah.
Because I'm also invested in hip hop quite a bit, and like the
Right.
way they spoke
Yeah.
to everything, it's just wonderful.
Good. I'm gonna do a different one. I recently watched. It was like a couple years ago. Chapak.
I haven't seen it.
I've heard of it.
Okay. Wow. I am so happy. I feel
You're
so
like,
cool.
I'm up on you
I'm
guys.
up on this. It was Deepika Padukone was in it, and it was about like surviving an acid burn. So like somebody was taking
Wow.
her
I've heard of
life.
this movie.
Yeah, and I think it was
okay.
based on a true story. Like she met an
Yeah.
actual survivor, and somebody like threw acid on her and like burned her face, and
Yeah.
she replicated all that, got justice and stuff. But man, that movie made me cry. So it was
Yeah.
depicted and
Yeah.
acted on so well.
Yeah.
And just like devoting that type of topic to the media, like we were talking about
Yeah.
responsibility, it spoke volumes.
Yeah.
So. Okay, all right. Best example of boundaries in a Bollywood movie.
Best example.
Wedding Season is not Bollywood, but the way I don't know if it's Bollywood or not, but the way she stood up like to her parents every time and was like she's an economist in the movie.
yeah.
And so like, I think every time they would be like, okay, you should get married. We're going to put your profile out there. We want you to go. We set up this date for you. We want you to go to these weddings. Every time she like pulled up to the wedding with her laptop and is doing work. Like, I'm here, but I'm not here because my priority is this. And I've told you this consistently. And I think a lot of times like boundary setting doesn't look the same in South Asian culture because you can't just get up and leave because
Right.
of what you said earlier, right? Like you're not supposed to cut off from the family. You still have to be there. So it's her way of being there and showing them like, hey, this is the priority. And I've told you that already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. I think for me, the one thing that comes up the most is probably Kalhonaho, where Shah Rukh Khan's character is always, or gets to the point where he's telling the grandma, like, your granddaughter, the one who was adopted, or whoever it is, or like the mistress's child has to be accepted. You know, like she's a part of your family. Like, her dad is your son. You know, and so I think that's the one that really stands out to me the most. Of like, wow, okay, like we're breaking boundaries here.
I love that. Oh, that was such a potent moment.
Yes.
In that movie.
Rocky or Rani.
Oh yeah.
It's the entire movie.
Yeah,
there's
like
millions of
100
examples.
instances.
Yeah, and they're all pretty solid.
Yeah.
Like,
no, that's fair.
Yeah.
Okay. SAIYAARA, you know, in the scene where she meets him and they're recording, and she's like, "Listen, I don't like smoking. I don't like cursing, and I need to be home by 8."
It's so real.
And he's just like, he's like, I can't say like he like cursing.
Right.
And he like
It's like
puts
the
the secret down,
beginning.
and then the whole movie, like that repeated scene of where he drops her home like a minute before 8. I just thought it was like all cute.
It's like he's respecting.
He's respecting the boundaries.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, you know, some of them I like that. Okay. Okay, last one ever that we have to go. But what's a quote from a Bollywood movie that stays with you? I know mine.
We know.
You want to go first?
No, go first.
It's the little monologue Shah Rukh Khan has in DDLJ, which I feel like we didn't talk about, which is
That was
For
such
me,
a
Love
classic.
DDLJ.
I think that was also good.
Wait, which monologue? Sorry.
So when, I think he said something along the lines of like to the dad, like, I could have like ran away with her, but here I am.
Oh yeah.
So just accept me, and then he goes, "Ja, Simran, Ja, do you live?"
Yeah.
That for me,
That's iconic.
yeah. And in terms of boundary setting too, like they want their families to agree, and so they keep fighting for it.
Yeah.
And with the boundaries of like, okay, I'm not gonna marry you unless like your family agrees to it as well.
Right.
And so I think that was very, very sweet.
So Ja Simran Ja is the dialogue.
I guess
Okay.
like
Yeah.
the one
That's
leading up
the
to
one,
it.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I think mine has to be in Jeb We Met, and it's with Kareena Kapoor's character and
Geet.
yes, Geet, and she says something along the line. I think they're on the train, and she says something along the lines of like, "I'm my own favorite" or something like that. And so I think that
Matney favorite.
yeah, and I think that's like my favorite thing ever because it's like that's really wholesome.
Yeah.
You know,
It's a good message.
Yeah,
I have a
right.
playlist with that as like
Right.
the title.
Yeah,
Oh, I love that.
right,
I love that.
right.
Yeah, I don't have any specific quotes. It's mostly just scenes, and most of them are from Lagan, honestly.
Lagan. Okay.
Yeah, like I mentioned the Untouchable
Yes,
monologue.
yes.
That's a big one, and there's a few others in there that this is a cop out, but kind of the entire song of Radha Ke Sena Jale. There's just the story of that and like what
Yeah.
it's speaking to, and there
Yeah.
that's the parts that I've embedded about that song are like what it's actually speaking to, as opposed to like just not just the music, but you know like the
Totally.
what
Yeah.
it speaks to.
Yeah.
So like that. But yeah, Lagan stands out to me. There's
like
a
your
bunch. That
go-to.
yeah.
Yeah.
Keh diya, bus keh diya.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had to perform it.
Yeah.
I just love when she says that. Like it was in Kabhi Khushi Kabhi Gum.
Yeah,
with
yes.
parents, but like she finally stands up to her husband in a way where she sets a boundary and she sets the
Right.
tone.
It's
And
like
I
on
was
the bench.
Yeah,
Yes,
yes.
yes.
Because he would say that to her
Yeah.
for the whole movie.
Right.
Yeah.
So when she says it specifically, I was like, oh, yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah. Okay. Lovely. Well, thank you guys for doing this. This is like my favorite topic. So again, it's a very selfish episode where I just
Fun.
talk about it all day long.
Yeah.
How do you guys feel?
Yeah, I
Pretty
enjoyed
good.
it.
Yeah.
After all this, we're like, yeah, I hated that.
Yeah, no,
okay.
yeah, it was
yeah. You
constant.
can.
Yeah.
Any parting words for people in Bollywood and mental health? What do you got?
Watch more movies.
Watch SAIYAARA. Watch the BADS of Bollywood.
Yeah.
It's okay to feel the big feelings.
Oh, I love that. Big feelings are important. Emote. Sing.
Yeah.
Emote.
Yeah.
Invest in the magic of it all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's nice.
What about tips to subside and suspend your disbelief?
Well, I was going to
Sometimes.
say take up the space in reference to the podcast. Yeah.
Yeah.
Start beating stuff.
Yeah.
She's right. She's absolutely right.
Yeah.
honestly, like, I think suspending the disbelief, I think that's the point I want to make is I think there's magic if you're looking for magic.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
you can take that from anything in life. So I encourage more of that, to lean into the magic, the creativity, the love, the bigness, the colors, and then the rest of it, like, you know, use your own frame of reference, use your own intuition, use your own body, use your own experiences to take what you want and leave the rest. Yeah.